everyone, I'm Nadine and welcome to Bookish Nook. Today I am doing the social medias tag, which was created by, I'm not really sure, but that will be linked down below, but I am doing the changed version by Ariel Bissett, which I will also link that down below along with the questions. So the first question revolves around Twitter, and that is your favorite short book, and for that I went with Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is probably one of my absolute favorite classics. I think it's around 220 pages, so not very long at all. Definitely a one-sitting book. Next question revolves around Facebook, and that is, what book did everyone pressure you to read? And that was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Every time I went on anywhere on BookTube, everyone was raving about this series, Luna Chronicles, and how awesome it was and how awesome the fairy tale retellings were. So I finally decided to pick it up, and I'm glad I did because it is fantastic. The next book revolves around Tumblr, and that is, what book did you start reading before it was cool? And for that I have two answers, and the first one is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I remember Stephanie Meyer on her website said that The Hunger Games was fantastic and she was recommending it. So back then Stephanie Meyer could do no wrong, and I picked it up and it was fantastic and I loved it, and I definitely jumped on this bandwagon before it was a bandwagon. And the second book that I also jumped on the bandwagon before it was cool was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I remember seeing, I think it was the first two books were out in this series, and I walked by it like 4 or 5 times in chapters before I decided to buy it, and I'm glad I did because I've been on this bandwagon a long time. The next book revolves around Myspace, and that is a book that you don't really remember if you liked it or not, and for that I'm going with The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Apparently this is a European superstar, and this is one of his first books in English, or it was translated in English. I'm not really sure. I read this so long ago and I'm not really sure if I liked it. I think this is considered like fantasy. I guess there was a game based off of this book, and I think that is the reason why I picked it up. But I remember absolutely nothing other than the guy has white hair, and I think that's because I remember that from the game. The next question revolves around Instagram, and that is a book that is so beautiful that you had to take a picture of it, and for that I'm going with Across the Universe by Beth Revis. The first two books in this series are absolutely beautiful. The covers are fantastic, although they really have nothing to do with the story other than that they're in space. But either way, absolutely beautiful. The next question revolves around YouTube, and that is, what book do you wish to be made into a movie? And with that I'm going with Veronica Mars' $1,000 Tan Line. I know there's a TV show already made and a movie already made, but I really want them to do another one, and this is the perfect place to start. It was written by Rob Thomas and Jennifer Graham, so this is the perfect avenue for a next Veronica Mars movie. And it takes place right after the actual movie. This book takes place right after the actual movie, so I mean this is just like begging to be made into a movie. The next question revolves around Goodreads, and that is a book that you recommend to everyone. And I usually ask the person what they're into first, what they were looking for to read before giving a recommendation, because I don't want to give a recommendation of a book that is about dystopians when they hate dystopians, and then it'll just kind of push them further away. So for someone looking for something kind of out there or different, or they don't really care whether or not it's plausible or not, I go with the ever awesome Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. One of my absolutely favorite series that I just finished. Sadly it's done, but it was completed with perfection. So I always recommend Obsidian because it's like this super fun, witty, and the banter is so awesome and their sarcasm is so on point. Everything in this book is just so much fun, so I always recommend this. And for people who are looking for something more realistic, more contemporary, I go with anything Colleen Hoover. I mean, you can never go wrong with Colleen Hoover. You have her ever awesome Slam trilogy, and then you have Ugly Love, which is her newest one, which is really heart-wrenching, and then you have something that deals with a really tough subject, cheating, maybe someday. Hopeless is very gut-wrenching if you're looking for something for your soul to be shattered. Losing Hope, which is the companion novel, and then the novella that goes with it, Finding Cinderella, is pretty good as well. So anything Colleen Hoover if you're looking for something more contemporary. If you have not done this tag, please do that immediately and link it down below, or if you've done, link it down below, or tell me in the comments that you've done it so that I can go watch it, because I actually love this tag. It's so much fun, and it really gives the viewer an opportunity to see different books on people's bookshelves and what they think of them, especially the recommendation. I love seeing people, their go-to recommendation. Thanks for watching.